Are you still holding firm on your end of year targets?
I would not say so. My target was 240K per Bitcoin toward the end of the year. Then I was thinking maybe it would happen in April. It didn't happen. We're still suppressed. There's still a lot of tariff war and some stuff happening. But I think at this point, it's pretty clear governments are playing and buying. So I really think we may see way more than that toward the end of the year.
The exchanges are running out of Bitcoin, and usually whenever you have that type of squeeze on supply, it translates to really volatile movements to the upside. But we haven't been seeing that, and a large part of that could be because there's a lot of deals that are happening OTC. So here to discuss about Bitcoin and its potential move is Patrick, also known as Crypto Rookies. Patrick, it's been a few weeks, but welcome back to the show.
It's a pleasure. The thing is that market makers are driving the chart in the short term right now with the price. But the people who are really going to be moving the chart very soon are the people who are not touching the chart at all right now, which are institutional players and government. When they trade Bitcoin, they do it with the OTC deal with the exchange. So that is not represented on the price at all on the chart because it's not bought or sold on the market itself.
So let's take a look at this chart, Patrick. So this is the Bitcoin total OTC desk balance. How do you interpret this chart?
I think since 2021, it's been going down quite a lot. And right now, this chart showed that we're above 100,000 Bitcoin left, but I've seen other chart that it was below 70,000 Bitcoin left. 70,000 Bitcoin, just, like the company 2021 that is just recently announced last week that they will compete with MicroStrategy and stuff. They want to buy 42,000 Bitcoin. So that's just them. And we're not talking about all of the other government worldwide, the US states, the federal government of the US. All of them want to get more Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy is not stopping to buy more. Even if there's 150,000 Bitcoin left on the OTC reserve, it's going to run out soon. And once it's finished, that means that those big players who buy, 10,000 or 5,000 Bitcoin at a time, they will have to buy it from the market, and that will finally move the price up. Because there's not enough selling pressure to offset such a large buying volume. So once that happens, that means that the price is not going to go in a linear fashion anymore. It may actually sidestep, and we may see candle, we refer to a God candle, like on Bitcoin as a $10,000 candle, but we may see 20,000. Some people even speculate that we may see $100,000 candle, and they call that an Omega candle. Regardless if that's going to happen or not, I think the size of those purchases are really massive compared to what retail or small traders can afford. So the market makers are not going to try to stop and prevent by selling early. I don't think they will do that. So I think we'll see the price jump quite rapidly once it happens. So I think
we've been talking about OTC running out for quite some time now, but it doesn't seem to be running out. Why is that?
Well, the thing, if you go back to the chart, some people were expecting there would be a liquidity crunch before that. It's been delayed, but it's moving down. Every month it's moving down. It's a matter of time before it reaches zero. The only reason why, because MicroStrategy is not going to sell the 2021 thing that is coming up. If they buy, they are not going to sell. So a lot of government and large institutional player will be buying. They are not going to sell. So at some point, the OTC desk will not have any more reserve left, and it's not going to get replenished fast enough for the buying volume that is happening. So it's just a matter of a few more months, I would say.
There's some speculation that the market is pretty much downhill from here, that we're in a bear market or
Yes.
a left translated. I think I've been hearing left translated cycle. What exactly does a left translated cycle mean?
The left translated means that the peak of the bull run would happen earlier, and this is over. It would be a left translated cycle if we would never reach all-time high again, and we would just go downhill for the next year. But I really don't think that's the case. the chart looked like it's possible that it's happening like that, but for sure, when you look at the fundamental and the OTC desk, we know that it's not true. Like the large player are buying like massive amount, way more than any selling pressure that is happening right now. So it's just the market makers are playing and liquidating traders and playing with the market to suppress the price, but it's not gonna last.
Have we pretty much seen the end of the 4 year cycle where we go up, we go down, have a bear market, and then we spend, 3 years coming up, and then we have that massive drop again? Are we past that point now?
I would say yes. The only reason why there would be another bear market very soon is if real estate market collapse in the US, which is very possible, then for sure some people will struggle to hold on to their Bitcoin. But the government and the large institutional player, they may not care about that. They may see more opportunity to buy more of Bitcoin. So I would not bet on the price of Bitcoin going back down to 50 or 60K anymore. I think we are past that. So like, sure, if the real estate market suffer, then retail will suffer. But the institutional player and the government, they're gonna print money. We know that. So, and they will be buying a lot of Bitcoin no matter what. So yeah, I think we're good for maybe another 8 years without seeing a massive drawdown on Bitcoin itself, in my opinion.
So this recently came out this morning at the time of this recording, which is Thursday, almost 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. But the weekly jobless claims surged to 241,000, more than expected. And so they're saying this is economic trouble. I mean, do you see this being a bad thing for the markets, or are investors looking at this as an opportunity for us to decrease rates, which obviously usually translates to more money being put into risk on assets, Bitcoin, crypto, and then off we go with our altcoin season? What do you think?
I think Powell is afraid of inflation. And if you have good job market, then it's an easy decision that he doesn't have to lower interest rate. Now he's kind of forced to potentially lower interest rate to save the job market, because that's one of his big mandate. Meanwhile, if he does that, then he may cause a bit more inflation, but you have a trade-off between the two. You cannot satisfy both in this case, because that's a big loss of jobs. The thing is that with those job report, they disclose them, and then a month later, they always revise them with massive difference of revision. So I don't think we can trust those numbers at all. I think whatever they do to gather that data is completely flawed. It doesn't work. So they will revise those numbers next month again because they were wrong. I don't know if it was be up or down, but regardless, it looks bad on paper. So that might push Powell to lower interest rates. At the same time, if it's really true that the job market is collapsing like that, the stock market will probably suffer more because you don't purchase as many goods as much. And if the companies are laying off people, it has a bigger impact on the stock market because those companies are revenue producing and product producing and service producing. Bitcoin has nothing of that. There's no employee, and the people who buy it, if it's government and institutional, and they are buying it for the reason of protecting against the potential devaluation of the dollar, the fact that there's less job and kind of more like economic trouble is not necessarily such a bad thing for Bitcoin itself.
Based on what the market is doing now, overall, it's been trending upwards. So I don't know if they didn't necessarily digest the jobless claims just yet, or to your point, maybe they're just not looking at it. And this is probably the bigger headlines, which is Microsoft Meta surge after the updates. So could this be a catalyst for the risk on assets, being that the tech sector is doing pretty good?
It's possible, but it's the stock market fell pretty hard recently, so there will be a nice rebound for sure. But if the real estate market and the economy goes bad, companies are not going to advertise on Facebook as much. So eventually there will be an impact on those companies because they are dependent on a good economy, which is why I'm saying that Bitcoin, it suffer a bad economy to a certain extent because people don't have the money to buy. But it's not retail, again, that is driving the price of Bitcoin anymore. it's market makers, and then soon it will be institutional player and government once the OTC reserve run out. So I would not worry too much for the price of Bitcoin going down that much, regardless of what happened in terms of the economy, because a bad economy just means that the Feds will print more money, which eventually will lead to higher M2 global supply. And then if the correlation sticks with Bitcoin, then it's going to keep going up.
So what is your prediction for the rest of the year? I know we talked about this a few months ago, but a lot has changed. The cycle seems to be delayed. And so are you still holding firm on your end of year targets?
I would not say so. My target was 240K per Bitcoin toward the end of the year. Then I was thinking maybe it would happen in April. It didn't happen. We're still suppressed. There's still a lot of tariff war and some stuff happening. But at this point, it's pretty clear governments are playing and buying. So I really think we may see way more than that toward the end of the year. But I have a feeling that sometime this summer, the OTC desk will run out of Bitcoin. And then that's when I think we'll see some pretty massive growth on the price of Bitcoin.
Great analysis, Patrick. As always, real pleasure having you on. And those that are watching, if you found this video helpful and informative, subscribe to the channel, give Patrick a follow. He's Crypto Rookies on X, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.